I did not plan to play or to record another World War III video again, but then I was reached by the news that this IP has been sold to another studio, a studio called Wishlist Games. So I then felt that I really need to look into it as well as the game again. And I played and covered World War III now and then already from the first release back in 2018, a game that by some was said to become a battlefield killer. But it didn't go that well, since the game was suffering with server, performance issues, lag and desync, so the game soon fell into oblivion. But the current developers Farm51 decided to give it another try, another go, and therefore made an overhaul of the game and then re-released the game with a new publisher as a free-to-play shooter in 2022. But man, it went wrong once more. People were having issues downloading the game as it wasn't using Steam's official servers. So people were facing ridiculously long download times, but even if you were able to download the actual game, many players got an error 40302 problem, which most likely had to do with the launcher of the game. And if you were able to get into the game, there was also very long waiting times in order to play a game or two. All this together resulted in overwhelmingly negative reviews on Steam at that point of time, and of course this was something that Farm51 definitely not needed when the game once more was supposed to rise from the ashes like Phoenix Bird. When I started to play World War III back in 2018, I saw potential in this game, but I also realized that it would become really hard to get it right due to all the problems mentioned. Back then, Farm51 was working together with My Games, so you therefore needed to download the game, or actually the launcher at first on Steam, and then download the actual game via the launcher. I believe this was one of the biggest mistakes they ever did, since they would have been better off to launch the game directly via Steam using their service from the start. So here we are in 2024 with a game that is more or less dead now, struggling to keep around 200 players on average playing the game. When I went in and played now in order to make this video, I had a hard time to find and play anything else than Team Deathmatch. I only played a few tactical ops matches, as you can see in this video. That is the flagship, you might say, of the game modes you play when you go into World War III. I have to say that I believe that Wishlist Games, the developers that are now supposed to take over the World War III IP, is quite brave, taking on the task when it comes to revive this game once more. I really hope they are aware what lies ahead of them, since I believe there's a lot of work that needs to be done if they're gonna be able to wash away the kind of bad smell that partly comes with the World War III brand at the moment. Because in 2018, the game felt a bit less bright and colorful, a bit darker you might say, and the overall movement of the soldiers in the game was a bit slower, if I remember it correctly, which kind of suited the Apocalypse World War III setting a bit better, giving the game a bit of a stronger identity, if you will. Now coming back to the game makes me think that it looks and play a bit more like most other shooters, especially since many of the weapons, feels and even sound the same. Yes, Wishlist Games do have to spend quite some time to give the guns both character, since it hasn't been much done in that area or this area since 2018, and the audio also needs to go through in detail, since the gun sounds aren't that great or up to date. Some of the animations also need to be reworked and fixed. And the tactical ops game mode needs to be looked into as well, or maybe scrapped, or maybe something new coming up, since I've always felt that it takes way too long time to capture an objective in the game, and since there's no option to revive a fellow soldier, you're pretty much screwed if your teammates gets killed as well by trying to cap, since you then have to start over a process that after just a couple of games starts to feel a bit tedious in my book. Yes, there's quite a few things to think about if World War III will have a chance to find its place in the FPS market of 2024 or 2025. Not sure how this whole process will proceed now when Wishlist Games is actually taking over. Because I do believe that a game like World War III can have a place and find its audience also now, granted that the game really gets the quality of life improvements and more that it really needs to reach its potential. The question is, of course, both if Wishlist Games is capable of turning this ship around, and also if the players are willing to give a game such as World War III another or a third chance, if you will, because Farm51 had a pretty good opportunity to get some good traction around their game since Battlefield 2042 had a bad launch a few months before they re-released World War III again. But we all know now how that went, and I believe that Farm51 has had good intentions, of course, and they've been doing what they can when it comes to resources and knowledge, but at the same time it also sometimes felt as if they weren't paying attention to what some voices said early on in their own community when it comes to feedback regarding World War III. So what do you think? Is it worth to give this game another try, and do you think that Wishlist Games can actually do something that Farm 51 wasn't able or capable of doing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Personally, I do hope to see another try, if the game this time around is launched directly via Steam and not using this stupid launcher, and also if the performance overall in the game becomes better. Finally, I would say, and if Wishlist Games also is willing to and capable of adding some more character to the guns and the audio in the game, and I would then play World War III again, because even though I wasn't able to play a lot this time around when I was recording this video, I did have moments in the game that reminded me why I did like the game in the beginning of its life cycle. But it also reminded me why I stopped playing, so I'm therefore very curious to see what will come out of this now when there's a new developer taking over. Wishlist Games is, by the way, situated in Cyprus when it comes to their headquarters. They're supposed to have experienced game industry professionals in their team, having 40+ employees in 7 countries. And I see that they also own Armored Warfare, which is a free-to-play tank battle MMO title. Well, not sure what this all really means when it comes to the future of World War III, but I thought I would share that info with you and we'll see what happens. So with that said, thanks a lot for watching, and of course, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, since it helps me out here on YouTube, and feel free once again to also share your thoughts and experiences when it comes to World War III. Take care, my friends, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye!